and if you guys want more of her blogs, go to singlemoms101.net. But we were talking about this particular post, so let's go over the first 2 points. When a woman is done, meaning, and it could be a man too,
It could be a man
too.
right? The first point was that he or she will.
You will stop having sex with the other parent of your child. You'll stop. And a lot of times women get caught up like that because they feel like the more they have sex with them that they may come back. The guys get a kick out of it because you my baby mama. And you know, they say, you my baby mama. Let me get some.
Wow.
And you got to know how to close that door.
Right.
If you guys ain't together, if your guys are not together, you're not together. End of story. That's it. Also, it confuses the children.
Correct.
You know, when we got divorced, I still will, and I have, during my divorce, and still will to this day until I am married to somebody's son or in a relationship, and I haven't been in, you know, in one in the entire 6 years of the relationship to the point where I'm just tied to somebody. So my ex-husband have stayed at my house. He lives out of town. So this is a 3.5-hour drive away from him. When him and his family come up, when he and his family, his mom, his dad come and see my kids, they have been allowed to stay in my house. The game that we do not play is my kids won't see their dad coming out my bedroom.
That's
Or
right.
going in for any reason. I've always had 2 levels to my house.
Right.
So either you gonna stay on the bottom level, or you gonna stay on the top level, and I'm gonna stay on the bottom
Right.
level.
You'll be on
It's not
opposite
gonna be
levels.
it's no confusion. It's no
Right.
confusion. It's no making the kids think it's more than what it is. You know,
Right.
matter of fact, my son will sleep down there with him. If he on the bottom level, my son will sleep right down there with him because they love their dad. If he on the top level, they'll sleep up there with him. But you have to draw a line, and you can't just keep holding on to people. Thinking that, because that body part, it makes you think that they're gonna come back eventually. And guys, you know, you gotta stop manipulating that side too. You wanna know why she crazy? You wanna know why she acting out? Why she ready to slash your tires? Because you keep on laying down with her.
Right.
You know, and then you can't say, well, I'll give you this little money, let me sleep. Or you can't pop up at this lady's house any time of
That's
night.
right.
One of the other things that we have, we treat this like a business. Since we're co-parents, we're co-workers.
That's right.
And so
I love it.
co-workers,
I love
you
it.
don't call me after 5 and 6 p.m.
Wow.
or before 8 a.m. If I call him after 6, 7 p.m., it's an emergency.
Correct. A
Right?
true one.
Okay?
Right.
And so that way, if you don't know I don't know what he have going on. You know what, he is in a nice relationship. You don't call this man 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. for what?
Respect.
Yep.
And when you have kids as old as I do, my number really don't have a reason to pop up on this phone. Unless I'm
Okay.
having problems with my kids, because all 3 of them have cell phones. So they need to call their dad. They need to reach out to
Right.
their dad. You see what I'm saying? So it's just lines that you draw. So that was my number 1.
Okay.
In
That's
that.
great.
And then number 2.
You accept his significant other. You accept when you're completely done with with a situation. You accept who that man is dealing with, as long as they're not harming your child.
Right.
As long as they don't put a finger on your child
Or you.
or you, he put a finger on me. He ain't through with me yet. But
Amen.
you know, as long as they don't put a finger on your child, you accept her, because like I said in the beginning, she is not the one that broke you guys up. Some
Right.
women have such be so vindictive towards the new lady, and they may have been cheating with that particular person. They may have been with that person when they were with you, and they decide to leave you and go on with them. Nobody has that much control over a person. I don't like that when people go after the other person. Why are you bothering her? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He is grown. Or why are you bothering him? She was grown. You know, they didn't do that. So when you truly accept the significant other, and you're okay with that, and you don't hold your kids hostage because the dad is, you know, with Shay Shay or Melissa or Linda, and now you got an attitude. Why? You're not together. Let
Right.
that man live his life. You're sitting there blocking this whole square time off of your life, worrying about who he with. You stopping, you pausing right there. You're embedding this into your kids too. Like they just, it's a no-win situation.
Well, I
Irrelevant.
would tell you that in my case, it took me a minute to accept the other, because she was my ex-best friend. She was my daughter's ex-godmother.
Yeah, she
So this was someone that they called aunt.
Mm.
Okay, so in that situation, although whenever he called me at the last minute to take him out to breakfast on a Saturday morning, because they lived right upstairs from me, they lived right upstairs in the same two-family house, and I sucked it up, and I got them up, cleaned up, dressed to go, and I knew that they were going out all together with her and her daughter, and I had to, I put on some gospel music, and I had to just, stay, and then I waited till I had time with my little core group of confidants, and then, there were moments I had to let it rip.
Yeah.
But then, you know what, I had to, because at the end of the day, we were divorced, and whatever reasons there were, and forgiveness is more, it was more for me.
Exactly.
So I could be free.
Exactly.
And not take on this hurt although at that moment I was like, I'm never going to be married again. I could do all bad all by myself, blah, 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 blah. You know how that is. But I had to stop, cleanse myself, forgive, accept. And when I did that, I met my late husband. And it was just like, and I was free. And there was nothing that she can do or say to me that it just would roll off my back.
It's just an inner peace that you get. You did have some Jerry Springer type. I'm glad you turned on gospel music instead of trap music, because you probably been when you put that Young G's on, you probably would have heard. But I mean, like I said, we're all humans. I'm not downplaying anybody's feelings, because I've been there, done that. I cried many nights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not downplaying anybody's feelings. I'm just saying, when you get to the point of accepting this, and this is what what I see the most that I do not agree with is that women. I can't speak for no one else. That's why my show is Women 101. I don't know how a man think. I can tell you. I don't think I can tell you about a woman, and I really can just tell you about me. But I know from dealing with women, and that we all have so much in common. It's pathetic. Some of us tell it like me, and some of us just sit back and watch and know that's you too that I'm talking about, but you don't want to say nothing. But I know. So but you just see these things happen so much until you're just like, somebody got to put a stop to it. And so that's why it eventually comes. You eventually come to a peace that you are fine with the situation. You have moved on. I tell anybody, if your kids are truly your number one focus, it's a lot of stuff you wouldn't do anyway.
That's right.
It's a lot of stuff you wouldn't do anyway.
That's right.
It's a lot of stuff like the gospel, like just joking between the gospel music and the trap music. If kids would be like your gospel music, if your kids are truly your number one focus,
That's right.
nothing else will even matter. You'll have your moments at home, but you will it's some stuff you would not jeopardize yourself to go to jail.
That's right.
By tearing up somebody's stuff or hurting somebody else's child, because that's somebody's child too. If your kids were your number one focus, you would not sit home, and you wouldn't quit your job and just put them in a predicament that they can't live because your kids was sometimes you gotta manipulate your mind like that. You may not feel like you have nothing else to live for, but if your kids.
That's right.
That's why I love a woman. I love the fact that God created us the way He did. We give life. And through giving life, the ones of us that are blessed to give life, that's His way of saving us, I feel. Because that's the way He saved me. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do that I probably would have done by now. But my kids are, even when I don't appreciate me, even when I don't care about me, I care about my kids.
Amen. And then number three,
you will let him see his children with no strings attached.
And give us an example of how you've seen other women do it.
I've seen that happen. I can tell you how it happened with me, or how it could have happened with me, but it didn't. One of the things that I know is that child support is a big issue in the community when you talk about kids and being single and things like that. And so one of the things that I would see that I really disagree with, I do not like, and you can ask anybody around me, it was never me and it never will be, is when a mother uses a child as a game and piece or a pawn to say, if you don't pay me child support, you can't see your kid.
Right.
That's the number one
right.
thing that I dislike. When they say you ain't pay no child support, they can't see their kids. That is not right on any level at all. When I got another post about that. When if you have child support issues and you just can't get it, they just not helping you, you take that to the courts. Okay,
Right.
you handle that in the courts. You handle that
Exactly.
behind the scene. But if that man is willing to get his children and spend time with his children and see his children and his family is willing to do the same thing, you do that, because you do not let finances make you be the maker or breaker between you having a sane kid.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because God equipped you with the same thing that He equipped everybody else with. He equipped you with the same life that He equipped. You can get out there and get it. That's my
right.
take on finances.
That's right.
They may not be coming through. It is needed. We can't live like that. You got kids, you need, sometimes you really
Right.
do need two parties, but God equip you with the power to get out there and get it. If you're not confined to a bed, you can get out there and get it. And in the meantime, while you getting out there getting it, you go through your courts, you deal with what you have to deal with if you feel like you can't get it from them, but let them see their children, because the kids do not know behind the scenes, you know, why they can't spend time
Right.
with their parent. They don't know why they can't see their dad. And you just creating this evil person. This child just gonna have hatred and just be
so much
mean
resentment.
and
Yeah.
so much resentment, all because of a check. And you know, just
That's right.
let it.
I learned this from a judge when my children were younger, and we were in court for some reason, and I said my concern was that he wasn't coming to see the children. You know where there's a visitation schedule, and so I said to her, and she said, right in front of him, I can't make him come see his children.
Right.
She said, but if it's on his scheduled weekend and he does not come and get them, he waives his right to that visitation. And then if he has any sort of issue with you, you tell him to come back before me, and my first question will be, when was the last time you saw your children? And that kind of gave me peace. And it's the hardest thing is that when you pack up your kids and you have them ready and you're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting. Thank God I always had a witness. Aside from my late husband, it was like my sister or a best friend that would see me. They're sitting there consoling them, trying to make it happy, trying to go get them ice cream or something to make them happy.
That is so painful.
So I would say that, like you said, take it to the courts. And you just present the facts, not your opinion. And I've coached some women on that.
And see, that's the part you're using it. I don't bash my exes. I will not put out on social media. But because when you know what you're dealing with, that is the main reason. I did not put visitation in my divorce.
Wow.
It's in there because it's mandated by the state. But guess what? It's not your weekend, my weekend. It's a 24-hour notice. And the reason we did that was because I was not going to have my kids disappointed sitting here on the second Saturday and the fourth Saturday waiting on somebody to show up, and just in case they didn't, because you never know how a person is feeling. And with him living out of town, you never know what may happen. He may not can come and get them. So it was a 24-hour notice.
That's
right.
right.
Is what we did.
That's
because
really smart.
you get the kids, and I've seen kids, they sit, and kids learn the pattern. They know, every Wednesday, the state thing is every Wednesday after 5 p.m. and every other weekend. That's just, it's state. You can go by that in anywhere, the state of Georgia, and that's the daddy's side or the non-custodial parent side. That's their visitation. Kids pick up on that.
Yep.
And if Wednesday come at 6 o'clock and daddy ain't there, they're going to have a problem.
Yep.
Or if they learn that the first and third weekends are daddy and daddy's not there, they're going to have a problem. So my thing was, we did a 24-hour notice clause. And so with them, they never knew when their dad is going to come. So whenever he came,
It was like,
yes,
ta-da!
whenever he came, his parents are awesome. So his parents come, they in the house. You see what I'm saying?
Sweet.
And so that's the way that we worked around it. So I would suggest, somebody having that kind of problem, because it really can affect the kids. That 24-hour notice, it worked really well for us. Even though he's not the type that's gonna call today at 6 o'clock and say, I want my kids tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Right.
He's just not like that. He's not gonna do that. But it's there, and that was our way of covering that part of having the visitation.
Very smart. And
That's
see,
awesome.
but that comes with when from the onset that you do realize, because and I've told many women, don't go in that courtroom and be just bashing him in front of the judge, because actually the judge doesn't care any longer that this is gone.
Right.
This is gone. it's gone. It's about the children.
And the kids don't
And-
care either.
Right.
Right.
And so, unfortunately, you see, based on point number 2, who, in my case, I called her his quasi-attorney. Because she was the one that actually dictated to him the visitation schedule, because that's what was hers, you see? So, but this is so key. Now, you have...
And then, on to that point right there. Now, I'm demanding respect for the other woman, right? I'm demanding that for her, except his significant other. On the flip side, Miss Significant Other, stay in your lane.
Right.
Boom.
Stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of women that jump in and they think they're gonna date now that you stepmama or something like. No, I mean, that kid has a mother, that kid has a father. And so you stay in your lane. You do what what you need to do when you're with the dad and when you're with the kids. But all the dictating of the rules and how this is gonna happen and who's gonna pay what, fall back.
Right.
Because you were not there when the kids came along. You were
Correct.
not there in that family when that was going on. So fall back. I do not like don't come up like that. That's just the wrong way to
Right.
come. You stay in your lane, and I really respect my ex-husband's significant other. I have no problems out of her at all, as far as really nothing,
That's awesome.
I've offered to have dinner with her because I want to meet her, but I still haven't seen her, but I've talked with her. But it's not she stays there. My ex-husband is great about not introducing my children to multiple women,
That's
and so it's that's who they know. They know this young lady. That's who they've known for the last 5 years. Whatever else goes on outside of her, I don't know. They don't know. We don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he's not that one either that
But
just
she's
saying they're not
consistent.
married. So
Right.
he doesn't say, go pick my kids up. He don't do
Good.
that. He don't play that. And so a lot of times people fall victim to that too. The other woman comes up and she feels like she's, no ma'am.
Well, and
That's not your place.
and I could tell you that when in my second marriage case where we became a blended family, from before we said I do, we set out ground rules. So I would deal with my ex-husband, and he would deal with his ex-wife, because we blended with our children, and and then we came together on parenting, meaning as a blended family, which is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say you're right. You need to, if you're the spouse or the girlfriend or
Husband,
right,
boyfriend, you
then
stay in your lane.
and if Marcus had an issue with something that my ex-husband said, he would bring it to me. If it was not going to harm me, but it was communication.
You've never had that problem. I've never had that problem.
Well,
I haven't
thank
had
God.
I haven't had anyone, like I told you, I don't date people with kids under 6. But so I haven't had that problem. I haven't ran into
I
that
really
problem.
like that point. And so after this next break,
That's
we have a couple more things to talk about, but we have been enjoying, I'm going to call her Super Mom of Single Moms 101, Halaveshia Hall. We are excited because these are things that I think women and men need to really get clear on and learn to talk about. And if you have a question for her, please feel free to call in at 770-415-2149. We'll be right back. You're listening to One Way Praise Radio, the AliShane Show.
AliShane Show.
Hey, change the music.